I'm Jessica Dosterschill.
And I'm Kyle Dosterschill. And we own and operate Hunger in the Wild in Dallas, Texas. So since I started the business in 2016, naturally, because of budget constraints early on, led me to wearing a lot of different hats. And some of those hats fell under the marketing category, from like marketing campaigns, social media management, branding, even like logo design, things like that. Early on in the company's history, that was something that I would do. And it wasn't until later on where I realized that was a bottleneck. It was taking me way too long and the quality of work was just not really very good. And so when I found out that that was slowing things down, I then started to look for a company who could help out. And that's where I found Eater and his company, E49. I hired them specifically to help offload some of that work from me to them, so it free up my time to work on the business and really start to grow. One of my concerns early on whenever I started to look for a marketing agency was that it was going to be like, hire a bunch of different freelancers and send them the work to do, and then there would be no real communication back and forth, and the quality of the work would reflect that, and the deliverables would be of poor quality. When I found E49 and Eater, his team, it was more of like an extension of my own team. So it was really nice, and the communication was great. The deliverables were exactly what we asked for and needed, even over the top and beyond what we thought we were getting initially. So they always deliver on time. It's a great company. They really work closely with you and your team, and they feel more like an extension of your team rather than an outsourced version of what you're doing.
So we worked with Eater on a lot of different projects, everything ranging from defining what our brand and our message is, who our primary customer is, to very specific things, such as like business cards or marketing materials we hand out to people who come into the gym. And one of the things that I really love about working with him is that he takes your entire brand into considerations. Like, he's creating this pamphlet for you, but the entire message, it stays very synchronized with your website, with your social media strategy, and he does a really, really good job of getting to know your business and what your message is, and keeping that consistent with all of the projects that he designs.
So prior to starting to work with E49, we had at that time outsourced some work to different freelancers off of Fiverr and Upwork, and just some referrals that we received from around the gym. The issue was they always fell short of what we were expecting to receive, and the consistency from one freelancer to the next was never there. They were always so different. And it really never allowed us to gain any traction on what we were trying to do. So when we started to work with E49 and began to outsource all of our work to them directly and specifically, that's really where things became clear and consistent. And a big shout out to Eater and his team for doing all of the small things that I think most people don't expect, and that way whenever you receive the deliverables from them, they always exceed your expectations.
Long story short, if you own a small business or you're running a company and marketing is taking up a lot of your time, like Kyle said, it's been a huge benefit for us to offload a lot of that onto E49 and to work one-on-one with Eater. I highly recommend, if that's you and you're kind of sitting where we were a couple of years ago, it makes a really big difference to have a go-to person that you can offload all of that like marketing and branding work onto. So we highly recommend Eater and E49.
For sure. Thanks, guys.